Hey Square, how's it going? Make sure everything's good. Yeah, it is. Mike's good. I can definitely hear. That's a little bit too loud for me. Yeah, everything should be good to go. Finally? What do you mean finally? I wore this off for Corporate for Ghost Frontline too. 2 AM feels bad. Hey, you take care, Square. They did say that all the issues have been fixed, so hopefully that is true. Because in about a minute, we're going to get started. Gonna start all the way back from the beginning. That way it's all on one stream. Yeah, no problem. It shouldn't take too long to get back to where we were. Hey Recon, how's it going? I awaken upon an invisible mirror. The reflections layered within it do not show my face, only overlapping shadows. The trailing gown that drags along the ground in the garden of the girl named Lunacia. The handguard gleaming in the rain, held by the tactical doll named N4A1. The currents and neural pathways reborn from the rust, belonging to the mastermind named Elisa. And more and more. They come like tides, surging again and again, then receding, pushed me back to the origin. I am Lunacia. I am also M4A1. Or perhaps I am none of them. I am simply myself. Ah. So this is what you've been trying to tell me? Dandelion? Nothing but an ordinary human. Where are we? How'd we get here? I remember we were in the interrogation room on board the Elmo. Was it William's doing? Like you, I know nothing about our current situation. I help this person sit up. In the darkness, that familiar yet unfamiliar face rises and falls with my memory. Ordinary. Ordinary. What an utterly ordinary person. How long have we been here? Maybe a week? Maybe a decade? Is this really time for your stupid jokes? Ordinary looks. Ordinary physique. Even his personality is so plain and unremarkable. There is nothing about them that stirs even the slightest interest. You woke up before me? Yes. Did you see our abductors? I don't know who abducted us. All I know is that the last time this door opened, it was a handful of scientists working under William. William, what did they do? They took me to the lab. After that, I don't know. Only one thing. This one thing alone sets him apart from everyone else. The wound is here. Even in the darkness, that burning gaze still pierces forth from those eyes. Wanna see? His eyes shine as brightly as stars. I cannot understand how such a pair of eyes could come into being in a world filled with lies, betrayal, and decay. No. We need to get you out of here and give you a checkup. Just as I expected, they don't show the slightest reaction to my teasing. Even though he seems like a warm and humorous person in my memory. Can you contact the dolls? No, the signal is completely jammed here. The commander gets off the bed, walks over to the door, and gives it a few light taps to get a feel of its thickness. For some reason, this behavior makes him seem endearingly childlike. I can see outside through this crack. Why is that? You're right. Can we use it to escape? Why is it that someone so ordinary can obstruct little Bill again and again? Let me try. Why is it that someone so ordinary can stand at the center of so many whirlpools, yet remain staunch and unwavering? Oh. Are you okay? Why? Commander, just run. Leave me. Why is it that someone so ordinary can influence my memories, my actions, even my thoughts and emotions? Get on. I want to know the answer. So, have you found your answer? The commander is a brave soul. That's all he is. In different worlds, there are different endings, like everyone else. He cannot escape death most of the time. Perhaps he was meant to become a hero, but this world has no need for heroes, and this era has no place for heroes. I have a simpler word. Idealist. The commander, Ange, and countless others like them. What are you trying to say? The power of our goddess does not entail omnipotence. The world still belongs to them. So now you're M4. The M4 that 16 had been searching for all the while. The M4 who once promised to return. Yes, the M4 who has returned to put the end to everything. It's me. The commander looks at the girl before him. The sharp, thorn-like weirdness he had been feeling dissipates in an instant, as though blown away by the wind. He recalls the first time M4 took control of his body, how AR-15 recognized her right away. This is what she must have felt. I don't understand. I can't make sense of what you and she told me. What exactly was the bet between the two of you? Whether I can reach this place, whether I can bring myself to kill you, or whether I'll give up? What's the final stone that forms the line for you in this game of Gomoku? That isn't important, Commander. What matters is whether you can accept the outcome. I can't. The commander's answer comes without the slightest hesitation. I missed you, N4. The rest of the ER team missed you too. But we didn't come here for personal feelings. We came for our mission. Even you can't stop me. Venetia closes her eyes, a calm smile on her face. I know. Was that also within the possibilities you foresaw? I didn't need to foresee it, Commander. You are my commander, and I am your M4A1. I wouldn't be standing here in this moment if I didn't know you so well. I know I cannot stop you. No matter what reason or excuse I give, I cannot break your resolve. However, her expression turns somber in an instant. Do you have the resolve to pay the price? The price? If killing William exacts a tremendous price, even so, will you still go ahead without hesitation? Of course. The commander answers without the slightest pause. I understand. Venetia slowly walks closer. She rises on her toes, cupping the commander's face in her hands. Those eyes, not truly her own, locks directly onto his. Within them, the commander sees many things. I will help you complete this mission, but you must do as I say. I don't understand. He's right inside. All you had to do is step aside and let me through. I can end everything. No. Venetia's gaze is unwavering. You don't understand, but this is not the way to solve the problem. I promise you, your wish will come true. But not now. The commander does not want to accept such an absurd request. Be it Lunacia or the being before them now who calls herself Emperor A1. Neither are the person they once were. Even though it's beyond the commander's comprehension and imagination, they must accept the fact that they are no longer ordinary entities. If this were Lunacia's request, I would probably ignore it. But I trust you, M4. Hearing this, the girl's smile deepens. It's now bright and radiant, just like in his memories. Thank you, Commander. What do I need to do? It's simple. Venetia already told you just now. M4 lets go of the commander's face and slowly steps back. First, you must witness Venetia's death. (2064) At a hotel in the white zone of Frankfurt. All kinds of advanced medical equipment are brought into the hotel's luxury suite. The doctors who enter with the equipment conduct a thorough series of examinations on the commander. Throughout the entire process, a tall agent stands guard at the door, never leaving his post. Strange. The wound in your left shoulder is very recent. What happened? I reopened it by accident while I moved my body. I treated it myself. It's nothing serious. When the doctor asks about the injuries inflicted by the Nidas, the agent lowers his head and presses a finger to his earpiece, as if reporting something. The commander cannot hear what is being said. I must remind you, strenuous activity is absolutely forbidden in your current condition. Your wounds require rest. Also, your blood pressure and certain transaminase levels are slightly elevated, likely due to fatigue. The commander nods silently. During the rest of the examination, both the commander and the doctors speak very little. All that can be heard is the quiet hum of medical instruments. There are no issues. Please make sure to get proper rest. At last, after the long examination concludes, the doctors pack up their equipment and leave in an orderly manner. The agent at the door conducts a final inspection of the room, checking even beneath the bed and behind the curtains. Satisfied that nothing seems to be out of the ordinary, he closes the door behind him. The Swede finally grows still. The commander exhales, leans back on the sofa, and closes his eyes. At that moment, a tablet on the desk lights up. Our commander is truly a VIP, staying in the most luxurious presidential suite in all of Frankfurt, with full medical services to boot. Did you notice the doctors? There's even a current professor from the Karolinska Institute among them. Thanks to such capable doctors, my injuries were probably noticed. We need to accelerate our preparations. Things are progressing smoothly so far. Not long ago, your dear logistics officer successfully rendezvoused with 404 and M16. Have to maintain radio silence and await further instructions, for now. Just then, the doorbell rings again, in the most untimely fashion. Who is it? The tablet goes dark in an instant. The doorbell rings. Dandeline's presence and all traces of her intrusion are erased in an instant. The commander walks to the door and activates the intercom. Open the door, Commander. I came all this way just to see you. Through the peephole camera, they can see Javier standing alone outside. The station agent is nowhere in sight. The commander opens the door and lets him in. How is it? Comfortable staying here? If anything, not to your liking. We prepared other hotels. No need. This is fine. I heard from the doctors that your injury is taking a while to heal. Take care of yourself, Commander. You are a hero of all of Frankfurt. It's nothing major. Thank you for your concern. I hope you don't take offense by being forcibly brought back to the hotel. It was both at the Earl's request and for your safety. Mr. Javier, you must have something more important to discuss. You came all this way. Javier walks to the sofa and sits down, as if considering how to begin. Regarding your Gold Star medal, the Earl would like to award it to you in a more formal setting, in a company of other recipients. The commander lets out a cold chuckle and says nothing more. I know it's asking a lot from you, but I believe you're perfectly aware none of your actions will succeed without the Earl's support. Individuals cannot resist the tide of history. For your own sake, and for those around you, I hope you think carefully about what to do. Javier could have conveyed this unpleasant message over a call. The fact that he has come in person is meant to show sincerity. And yet, the commander remains silent, his gaze still fixed on the Whitestone street outside the window. I've only had that Glenlivet once before. It was when Iop and Griffin established a partnership under the Earl's arrangement. You understand why the Earl has the bottle placed right here, don't you? Outside, the streets are immaculate. Artificial clouds drift leisurely across a holographic blue sky. This is the underground White Zone, home to Frankfurt's political and business elites, as well as dignitaries from various nations. Unlike the devastated surface still awaiting reconstruction, this place remains pristine, barely touched by the war. Mr. Javier, I'm very grateful for the 12 hours you brought me. I'm afraid I don't know what you're referring to, Commander, so I can't accept your gratitude. However, the young often have different ideas and beliefs than the older generation, especially in times of change. Using his cane, Javier pushes himself to his feet. I hope we'll get to sit and talk like this again, Commander. About anything. So do I. The commander falls into a long silence after Javier leaves. These days, he finds himself in an unusual position where he's unable to move as freely as he once did. And such a position is well suited for thinking. Quiet, effective thinking. Oh my, don't tell me that old goat actually got to you. The tablet lights up again. The commander ignores Dandelion's teasing, continuing to mentally map out his next steps. Dandelion, give me an update on the progress of the infiltration. Thanks for the jewels, I appreciate it. And now we're back to where we were. Give me a second, I'm gonna turn on the AC. All right. Yeah, thanks for the dono, Lontran. I really appreciate it. Beep beep. The encrypted channel chimes flatly. Commander, incoming concert request from the Earl. The commander falls silent for a moment, as if keeping his emotions in check. Patch it through. He straightens his uniform. The fatigue on his face is replaced by his usual composure. Turning to the terminal, a figure appears on the screen, familiar yet somehow distant now. Sir, do you have instructions? Allow me to congratulate you, Commander. You have brought honor to yourself and Griffin and Kruger in Frankfurt. The Earl's voice is as steady as ever, betraying nothing. Thank you. Are there any details regarding the mission that I should be aware of? The commander's emphasis on the word details. He is perfectly aware that the Earl would never call simply out of courtesy. Your mission is over, Commander. What more is there to know? Once you return to Berlin, perhaps we can share a drink with Kruger. Is that so? But I don't think it's over. The mastermind, Carter, is dead. How could it not be over? The commander slams his palm on the console. The screen flickers from the impact. The abrupt motion cuts the Earl off mid-sentence. You know exactly what I mean, Earl. As long as Paradis and William still live, this is not over. But you have done your part, Commander. The Earl's tone hardens. Leave the rest to me. And what will you do? Absorb Paradis? Recruit William? Whitewash everything he's done and pretend none of it happened? Watch your words, Commander. The Earl's brow finally furrows. I can tolerate your emotional outburst for now, but I walked the battlefields long before your military career even began. But you haven't seen one in far too long. You no longer see the sacrifices on the battlefield. The commander's voice rises sharply, thick with the weight of blood and fire. The ones who died because of the Yasa boxes, the one who used as test subjects by Paradis. Did it ever exist in your eyes? Were they nothing but necessary sacrifices to you? William's life is worth more than all of theirs, isn't it? The URNC is about to be formed. Oberstein and Carter will take the blame for everything. This is the greatest consolation we can offer the dead. Would you ignite war in the coming age of peace, Commander? The dead don't argue as eloquently as you do. The commander's voice is ice cold. The peace you speak of is built on lies and corpses, a collapsing castle in the air. I will not accept that. Neither will the dead of Frankfurt. Enough! For the first time, anger surfaces in the Earl's expression. Commander, you are too young. So young, you think yourself invincible. So young, you forget who gave you the might to speak with such self-assurance. I may be young, but I never forgot what I'm fighting for. The commander shrinks slowly, meeting the Earl's gaze without flinching. I am willing to fight and even give my life without hesitation. But Paradis and William must face retribution for what they have done. There can be no compromise. Kruger's indulgence has made you forget your place. It's time you were reminded how the world works. The screen goes dark. The call is cut. The commander releases his grip on the deformed sofa armrest and rubs his throbbing temples. Just then, the MO's main power cuts out instantly. Emergency lights flicker twice and die. In a heartbeat, absolute darkness and silence engulf the command room. Commander, the power systems are completely offline. Auxiliary power is locked by remote authority. We've lost control of the vehicle. Anything else? Every T-Dog manufactured by IOP has been forcibly shut down. I can't reach any of them. Give me Javier. And send a general call. Assemble everyone we can still reach in the ops room. A holographic projection on the communicator flickers to life. Javier appears, his expression wary. Commander, I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. So you know what's happened? The Nidhal Protocol. Has Kruger mentioned it to you? The what? The ultimate failsafe within the IOP and Griffin and Kruger framework. Once activated, all cooperation between IOP and Griffin and Kruger will cease. This protocol will shut down all IOP-made dolls. It will forcibly revoke your command authority. So it's been activated. Not a question, just a statement. Javier sighs. Technically, I should have been the one to execute it. I tried to contact you right after your call with the Earl, but the Earl beat you to it. The Earl beat you to it and gave the order himself. Looks like I probably pissed him off. The silence on the other end of the line is answer enough. I just hope you'll cool your head, Commander. I watched you come this far, and I know how hard won your achievements are. Considering the current situation, going back to the Neo-Soviet Union may be the best move now. Even if I have nothing left, I will never give up on the hunt for William. Someone has to do it. And right now, that someone is me. I don't want you doing anything foolhardy, especially when I can't help you. However, I can see that nothing that I say will change your mind, just as nothing will change the Earl's. Take care, Commander. Only a handful of figures remain inside the ops room on board the Elmo, illuminated by the dim light of the systems that have been rebooted by bypassing remote control access. Squad 404, Task Force Defy, Squad Hume, the AR team. Not even 20 dolls. That's all that's left of the Elmo's fighting force. Commander, all the dolls that can be contacted are gathered here. The commander nods, his gaze sweeping over each familiar face calmly. The Earl has locked down all IOT dolls and systems. Javier suggests I return to the Neo-Soviet Union, or talk things over with the Earl, to turn things around. Moonlight spills through the viewport, casting cold shadows across the commander's face. His eyes burn with the resolve to see things through to the end. We've lost all supports. We stand against the entire world, against the outcome that's already been decided. But I'm not going back. I will find William and eradicate Paradis. The commander draws the Makarov that Neil had returned, chambers around with a sharp click, and holsters it. No matter the cost, no matter the future, I'm doing this for those they butchered. Even if it's a one-way trip to hell, I won't turn back. Silence. Didn't it all answer the commander's declaration with resolve in their eyes? The AR team will always fight by your side, Commander. Even in hell. I promise, 15, we crush Paradis. Save us a seat on that ride. I can't let you run off to hell with your unsettled debt, so count us in too. Whatever your decision is, we stand with you. I said I would bear witness to your ending, so I will watch you as you journey to hell. You lot, this might be my last mission. And even if we win, there won't be any real victors. Then we must make sure the operation plan is watertight. Huh, hell's already pretty overpopulated. Let's send them ahead. Watching the dolls discuss how they should proceed, the commander knows that what this signifies. Trust, and a vow to live and die together. This is the part. Alright, let's see if we get through it. Near the Stasi headquarters. Commander, Styx's signal disappeared in the White Zone. This is the Stasi headquarters. I suspect she's gone underground. Commander, the underground is part of the White Zone. The Stasi's intelligence servers are located below the surface. AK-12 has been there before. 45 and 9, handle the access. No problem, but I'll need to manually maintain the breach as the system requires real-time authentication. We'll have to stay topside where the signal is stable while you infiltrate the building. Under 45's interference, the Stasi's security collapses momentarily and the doors open. With a nod, the commander leads the team into the elevator. I'm counting on you for the rest of the operation. Catch you later. UMP-9 rushes forward and gives Commander a bear hug before riding back to 45. Stay safe, Commander. We've done plenty of legwork for you, Commander. What's one more thing? The heavy metal doors slowly close, leaving the sisters on the other side. Now then, shall we get to work? I don't want to miss the final showdown. You bet! White Zone. Stasi Data Center Sector. Commander. What is it? This is the Beasting Systems data center. The commander stares blankly at the countless servers around them, unable to grasp it at first. Beasting? This is a server hub for the Beasting system? That certainly explains a lot of things. In an instant, countless clues come together inside the commander's head, forming into a cold, harsh truth. So that's it. The Stasi has been working with Paradis all along. No wonder their intel on Paradis is so accurate. Which means Styx. Oh? Looking for me, Commander? Metal spikes erupt from behind the column and come hurtling towards the commander's group. AR-15 raises her weapon and shoots down all the incoming projectiles. But more metal spikes come flying straight towards the commander from the pillars on the opposite end. AK-15 steps forward and intercepts all the metal spikes with her bare hands. Doesn't leave even a scratch on her. Show yourself. Ooh, you really are the ace of Task Force Defy. Impressive. Styx slowly steps out from the shadows behind the pillar, followed by several black and white Nitas. She idly toys with the strange shimmering whip on her hand. Commander, I didn't expect you to actually come. However, Father has more important matters to attend to. He has no time to entertain an uninvited guest. You all, go. No, that won't do. G11, who has been tense until now, somehow regains her composure. The usual drowsiness in her eyes is gone, replaced with an uncharacteristically cold edge. If she's guarding this place, then there must be someone even stronger further below. At least, that one called Mordo. She's definitely stronger than her. You're the strongest among us. It's way too early for you to clock out. I'll stay behind. G11. When that idiot 416 gets back, I'm going to give her an earful. But before then, I need to do something that'll make even her impressed. Besides, the first villain to show up is usually the weakest one, right? Pratt, you think you can stop me? The area whip slices through the air with a sharp crack, lashing towards G11. What encounters it is a violent barrage from AR-15. Huh. Fine. I'll stay too. You're ruining my badass moment. Leave this to us, Commander. Right. I'm counting on you. AR-15 steps forward, standing shoulder to shoulder with G11. Whatever. Let's make this quick, okay? The sooner we're done, the sooner I can catch a break. AR-15 swaps magazines with crisp efficiency. Of course. Deeper within the White Zone. Please don't worry, Commander. G11 and AR-15 are both Griffin elites. Mere Nitos won't be enough to overwhelm them. The Commander nods. The planet already accounted for Paradis interference, but the early appearance of someone like Styx means the enemies ahead will be even more formidable. In addition, We just intercepted a piece of key intel about the final step of Project Valkyrie. The final step? A surgery. The final surgery. Everything they need is now in place. Commander, 4509's operation has encountered resistance. They may need more time. Understood. Pass your comms directly into my channel. Deep within the White Zone, a narrow corridor stretches into darkness. There are no forks, only a sealed metal door at the far end. Commander, that's... Before she can finish, darkness suddenly falls. Electronic warfare! All units, defensive measures! Finally, a guest! AK-12, already cloaked, intercepts Bram's electronic attack and instantly drives her blade towards her. With infrared vision, A-94's gunfire has already locked onto the target. Bram leaps back, invading the barrage, retreating to the standard Nidos lying in ambush near the door. Looks like it's our turn to shine. Commander, leave this to me in 94. Keep our commander safe. AK-15 nods, her gaze unwavering. AK-12 lightly fist bump AK-15's chest armor as a wordless farewell. Bram does not stop them. She simply watches as the commander's group advances down the corridor ahead. Bram, you seem more pliant than the rumors suggest. I thought you'd try to interfere. Don't misunderstand, AK-12. Opportunities to have some fun with the fire alone don't come often. And interfere? Why would do something so gentle? Bram stretches, then licks her lips. I really like AK-15 to see the way you kill yourselves later. AK-12's eyes snap open. Now that sounds more like I've heard. In that case, I hope we can last long enough for this to be fun. Beyond the shattered doors, the battlefield expands to a massive laboratory. Commander, according to intel, the final surgery of Project Valkyrie is taking place here. But it seems Tix and Brand aren't the only ones present. A familiar figure descends from above. We meet again, Commander. As she makes her entrance, a wave of black and white Nidos come pouring into and from every corridor. Despair tightens around the throats of the small and hopelessly outnumbered squad. Isn't your party a bit too small? What, has the Great Griffin already disbanded? The commander's expression does not change. His gaze does not even linger on Mordo. It passes straight through her, locking onto the deeper corridor behind her. That man is down there. Mordo thinks she understands this Griffin commander hailed as a hero. Brave, composed, kind. Every positive adjective can be used to describe him, just like Angelia. But the commander has changed. Those eyes are filled with raw, unmasked hatred and murderous rage. You done? The commander speaks quietly, but the words chill even a veteran like Mordo. Go. The moment the command is given, AK-15 launches forward like a shell. Her punch crashes down like a battering ram. Mordo barely manages to block the attack with her mechanical claws. AK-15 pivots instantly, her kick slamming into Mordo. whose mechanical claws are just a little too slow to deflect it properly. Even though the kick does not land with full force, it's enough to send her flying. AK-15 glances back at the commander, awaiting his order. Kill her. Understood. Just as AK-15 lost their target, a flash of white moves faster than sound, lunging from the shadows towards the commander like a phantom, only to be driven back by a roaring shotgun blast. Huh. Paradise rats, think you can strike now that AK-15 is occupied? You really don't take me seriously enough. Is now the time to make our entrance, Commander? All yours, Stevens. AR-18. Send that scurrying white rat to hell. Roger that. R.O. Sop. Clear the path forward. Yes, Commander. No problem. I've been itching to tear them apart. The sound of gunfire, explosions, and tearing metal weave together into a chaotic cacophony as the laboratory becomes a merciless grinder. At first, the dolls manage to hold the line with their excellent performance on the battlefield. But the overwhelming numbers cannot be overcome by skill alone. One by one, they are wounded. One by one, they fall. Each pushes their frames and neural cloud to the limit. Yet there's seemingly no end to the waves of incoming enemies. The Black Needle slips through and strikes at the commander's flank. A hand appears and catches the blade barehanded, sending sparks flying. Ah! With a twist of her wrist, Sop rips through the needle's arm, clean off. She kicks it away before riddling it with bullets. Don't you dare come near the commander, you trash! Another white needle's blade pierces through her shoulder from behind. Go the hell. You bastard, you bastard, you bastard, you bastard, you bastard, you bastard, you bastard! Huh? Sop whirls around and headbutts her attacker right in the face. Then she bites into her throat, and with a blood-curdling crunch, tears it apart. More needles swarm her, blades plunging into her frame. Go the hell! Die! But she does not stop, doesn't even slow down. She grasps the weapons and snaps them with a furious howl, then pummels the needles with blunt weapons. Even as her body becomes a pincushion, she does not fall back. Not a single step. Louder! Louder! Stop! R.O. fends off the enemies close to her and tries to reach Sop. But Sop is pierced through the chest and collapses limply to the floor. Mordo appears behind her, retracting her mechanical claw. What a squealer. I'm not letting anyone through to disturb Father. A gust of force strikes in his side. Mordo dodges out of reflex, just in time to avoid the mangled white needle thrown towards her. AK-15 follows with a kick, destroying Mordo's mechanical claw before she can steady herself. Going somewhere? AK-15 glances at Sop, who is struggling to stand. After a moment of silent deliberation, she decides against pursuing Mordo further. Instead, she plants herself in front of Sop, holding the line against the swarm. I can't handle it! With AK-15 repelling most of the needles, a brief opening appears towards the operating theater. Commander! The path is clear! Good. Standing at the entrance of the passage, the commander turns around to look back. The lava's now a hellish sight. Sop is trying to stand with broken legs, AK-15 is fighting both Mortal and countless needles alone. RO takes damage while covering the commander's approach to the passage entrance. AR-18 and Stevens are battling hard against the other end of the lab. All this was started because of him. RO, stay and help the others. Commander, we don't know what's ahead. It's okay. You've done enough. I'll finish this. The commander looks at RO. This usually sentimental doll seems to be struggling to find the words to express her feelings. We'll wait for you. Right. Hopefully, we'll get to go home together. I promise that will never come true. The commander unlocks the safety on his handgun. He advances forward towards the operating theater without looking back. Behind him, RO stands stalwartly at the choke point, blocking the entrance with her petite frame. In the face of another wave of Nidos, she readies all the weapons and explosives she is carrying. Now, count up your sins! The commander goes down the passage filled with smoke and littered with corpses, then kicks open the door at the end. The lab reeks of disinfectant and blood. The man has his back to the commander as he slams his fist angrily on the operating table. Why? Why did it fail? It should have been flawless! Why won't you respond? William. On the table lies a familiar figure, but she appears to be utterly lifeless. Where did it go wrong? Should I have done the wedge differently? William paces over to the chair and slumps into it. He grabs his hair in despair. That face, that expression. He behaves as if all creatures big and small must obey him. It's nauseating, aggravating, infuriating. The commander's last remaining shred of reason snaps in a blaze of hatred. William! William looks up. You are. No words, no verdict. Only gunfire spews from the commander's Makarov. But the bullets are deflected mid-air by two black Nidos that appear out of nowhere. The commander reloads without pause, then keeps firing relentlessly at the parts of William's body that the Nidos cannot defend. Bullets whiz through the air, grazing William. One of the Nidos throws herself over him to shield him completely, while the other lunges at the commander with her sharp blades. Roll, shoot, dodge. The commander fights with everything he has, pushing his human body to its very limit, but is still overcome by the black-clad figure. His pistol is knocked out of his hand, and he's pinned securely to the cold, hard floor. What a nuisance. William kicks the Nidos shielding him aside patiently. He slowly climbs to his feet, walks over, and peers down at him. You came to kill me? You shouldn't have any dolls left. He pulls out the commander's communicator and scrolls through it. Ah, I see. A handful of non-IOP stragglers. But you honestly think you can come after me with just this lot? That's a bit insulting, don't you think? I've always been interested in you. Care to discuss the new world with me? I love to hear what your corpses have to say about that. The commander looks up defiantly, the fire still burning in his eyes. And how are you going to kill me with those broken dolls of yours? You're nothing but a vermin feeding off my brilliance. You've won a handful of honors and achievements, and now you consider yourself my equal? William walks towards the doorway with open disdain. Moments later, a white Nido, her body devastated yet still capable of movement, steps in and hands him something. William takes it casually, weighs it in his hand twice, then tosses it at the commander's feet. It's a battered, bloodstained loudspeaker, taken from RO635 from not long ago. It's now worn beyond recognition, smeared with enough blood to tell the story of a brutal fight its owner has just endured. Your little hero Let's Pretend ends here, Commander. I don't have time to keep playing games with you. She's waiting for me. The commander breaks free from the Black Needle's restraint, picks up the damaged loudspeaker, and carefully wipes away the grime with his sleeve. He clicks it behind him, then retrieves the communicator William has thrown aside. Nearly all dolls are offline. R.O. Sop. A final faint signal crackles through the comms. This is 9, Commander. Mission accomplished. But in order to cover me, 45 just... 9's voice is broken, uneven. She's clearly in bad shape. I'm on the rooftop now, Commander. The enemy will reach me soon. Looks like we missed the final showdown after all. No, 9. We've been fighting together all along. That's exactly what 45 said. The sound of the door being stormed and the chaos that ensues can be heard from her end. Alright, this is it, Commander. I'll leave the rest to you. Sure. Leave it to me. The connection cuts out, and a final signal vanishes. The world falls completely silent. William walks back over, patting the commander's shoulder like an old friend. What's wrong? Have you given up, Commander Griffin? What happened to your plan, your hope? Weren't you going to hear what my courses had to say? Hey. You're standing too close. Without warning, the commander's fist slams into William's face. Blood bursts from his features. The Nidos in the room instantly subdue the commander again, but a silver ring slips from his hand. What? A blinding white light devours everything. On the rooftop of the Stasi headquarters, violent tremors surge from deep underground, as if the black dragon Nidhogg has broken his chains and begun tearing at the roots of Yggdrasil. UMP-9 lies collapsed in the ground, her frame damaged beyond repair. The enemies around her falter in panic at the apocalyptic scene. She tilts her head back, gazing up at the dim sky, a quiet, relieved smile on her face. It was such a chore, fighting all those explosives. But at least, the plan worked. Commander 45, we'll be seeing each other again soon, right? Seconds later, the Stasi headquarters erupt in a massive chain explosion centered on the elevator shaft. Flames surge upward from below like Surtur's sword of fire, devouring floor after floor, turning the entire building into a towering inferno before it collapses in a thunderous roar. The order of the old world, along with the sins, is reduced to ashes. The flames of annihilation rise into the night light like a brief, dying sun. All of Paradis and the Stasi secrets, along with the remains of those nameless heroes, are buried forever beneath the ruins. A comet strikes the moon. A white rainbow pierces the sun. You have never lacked dignity or courage. For your ideals, no matter how thorny the path ahead, you press forward without hesitation. The idea of practicing prudence and self-preservation seems almost like a luxury you never afford yourself. Like Icarus flying towards the sun, like Achilles charging into Troy. However, dying for one's beliefs is easy. Living, according to them, that is far harder. You should not have met your end here, in such a careless exchange for a life unworthy of your sacrifice. Nevertheless, I will remember your epitaph. Life is so short. You only have enough time to become a brave soul. Bad Ending 01. So that's the ending that we would have gotten if everything went the commander's way. Next up. "2064, White Zone, Frankfurt. Several weeks after the Battle of Frankfurt, the buildings damaged in the war still linger across the city like scabbed over wounds. Careful! The base of that crane isn't stable. Don't try to lift that much at once. Got it. You stay back. Don't tell me what's buried under the rubble. They dug up an unexploded bomb while clearing the streets in Mainz the other day. Lucky it didn't go off. Construction workers moved towards the streets and alleys, preparing for the city's reconstruction. They are tasked with clearing every scar, and scars, by nature, can always split open again without warning. Lift! Lift! As the crane carefully hoists a heavy steel beam from the collapsed structure, two gray bodies beneath it send a chill down the workers' spines. One God! How do these get missed? They are children judging by their size. They cling to each other, their lives taken by the flames of the explosion. The older one holds the smaller tightly, an act of kindness and courage preserved in their final moment. Call the police. I can't handle this. Police? I thought I saw them nearby just now. Those guys? They're no police, that's the army. Yeah, Soviets. How long do they plan to stay on our turf? Aren't they all under that URNC now? Who knows what they're up to? Hope they doesn't mean more trouble. No idea. I got a bad feeling. The war is over, but life hasn't gone back to the way it was. They glance again at the bodies hanging beneath the crane. The victims resemble a charcoal sketch brought into 3 dimensions, frozen amid the ruins of the aftermath. In a narrow alley beside the ruins, armed URNC soldiers have already arrived at the entrance. For practice efficiency, they split into squads under their leader's signals and surround the building. On a rooftop not far away, 2 figures observe the scene. Hidden perfectly in the shadow beneath a water tank, they appear like discarded fragments of the structure itself. They're concentrating their forces here. Looks like they're preparing for a full-scale sweep. No heavy weapons spotted yet. 404 should be able to break out even if surrounded. That would have been true before. Don't forget, they've lost their most important asset now. It might not matter to you, but 416 is their indisputable blade. Let's rendezvous ahead of time. We have to make sure the item gets delivered to them safely. Meanwhile, in the basement of a building, Kalina and the others remain unaware of the situation outside. Long time no see, Kalina. Catch you waiting, huh? M16? Seeing the figure emerge from the hidden door, Kalina finds herself at a loss of words, despite all the questions tumbling in her head. Don't just stand there. Come in and have a seat. Make yourself at home. How about a drink? Stop joking! Where the hell have you been? Do you have any idea everyone out there is looking for me? Yeah, I know. They're trying a lot harder to catch me than they are you. You... Clea bites her lip. I'm glad you're okay. Alright, since everyone's here, I'll explain. Colleen, you've already heard about the commander defying the protocol and launching the final assault, right? Yes, Tokarev told me. Speaking of which, Tokarev and the others... It's okay, Kalina. Someone will recover their neural clouds. I don't know who exactly, but the commander would never abandon a single Griffin doll. We're short on manpower, and they're valuable assets. Cold as it sounds, I really like to have them repaired and back in action soon. If only we could fix 416 too. My workload's gotten so much worse without her. 416's been working hard enough already. Let her rest for once. Anyway, since you know about the Nidhogg protocol and the commander's final decision, I'll continue. Unfortunately, in that operation, we failed to kill William. The reason's unclear, but one thing's for certain. The commander has no intention of giving up. And after the operation, he realized that the elite Nidos we destroyed weren't all of William's remaining forces. William, or rather Paradis, still has numerous hidden labs and factories in Frankfurt. Based on our intel, they all belong to Oberstein, and they're gradually coming back online. What? We were shocked too, mostly that the commander found out before we did, but it's true. Looks like someone important is backing William. In other words, the problem isn't that brat anymore. Paradis' secret supporter. That's our real enemy. Exactly. He's the one helping William reactivate those factories. You mean... Griffin Lyons. The Earl? Why would he side with Paradis? Because he's a filthy liar, a madman, and a politician. He wants all of Paradis' technology and research. And what the commander and we need to do now is make sure he never gets it. I feel like I missed too much. But if the commander has chosen to fight, then I'll help him. I finally found him again. I'm not letting him go off alone without knowing anything. I'll stay by his side. I'll fight with him. What a touching confession. If I were the commander, I'd have fallen for you already. Fall for it? No, that's not... Relax, I'm just joking. Surely you don't think anyone hasn't noticed, do you? That's not it. I was just startled. Anyway, where is the commander now? Is he safe? As the hero of Frankfurt, he's under heavy protection. We're actually the ones in danger, not him. Yeah. UNC's forces has been chasing us non-stop. We've been on the run every day. I can't even remember the last time I slept properly. Just then, a rhythmic knock sounds at the door. Kalina tenses immediately. Who is it? Relax. That rhythm. It's one of ours. Good evening, everyone. Unfortunately, you'll need to move again soon. You're Miss AK-12? Or weren't you? Long time no see, Kalina. I'd love to catch up, but there's no time. UNC forces are moving in. That soon? We just shook them off, didn't we? I can't walk anymore. Someone carry me, please, and thank you. They're the UNC's regular army units. It won't be easy to evade their search. But have to keep relocating. Understood. Get ready, 9, G11. Also, take this. AK-12 hands Kalina a communicator. What's this? That's what I came to deliver. A certain mysterious figure relaying the commander's orders will use it to contact you with further instructions. He seems like a nice guy, but best not to make him angry. This is a battle. Ready for another timeline shift? I arrive at the airport not long after finishing my meeting with Mr. Kruger. A quick glance tells me the AR team is already assembled, along with all their necessary supplies. However, I look around. The lively girl who should be present is nowhere to be found this time. Something feels missing. The night sky today looks exceptionally clear. For some reason, a night like this feels perfectly suited for saying goodbyes. Commander, what's this mission about? A bright, energetic voice snaps me out of my thoughts. I compose myself and turn around. It's a kind we've never taken them before. Huh? Could it be? I lay the pictures on the objective on the holding area table. Why is it a girl? What is this? Are we supposed to investigate her or protect her? Neither. Our mission is to proceed to Bonstoff in Berlin, find our target, and bring her to a designated location. We're going to kidnap a girl then? We certainly haven't done anything like that before. Someone will come to pick us up once we require the mission objective. Isn't that hard? Isn't that what they say for that every mission? We always end up having to do our own anyway. This is our mission. So what is she doing here? You have your mission, I have answers of my own that I wish to find. This mission is closely linked to parodies. Dandelion may end up being very helpful. Dandelion stands behind the AR team, ignoring AR-15's icy glare. I smile weakly, and the communicator just happens to ring at that moment. 1 second. Understood. I head to one side and look at my communicator. It's the latest report on Kalina's status from the hospital where she warded. The moment I see the sender, my heart skips a beat. Then, anxiety surges up uncontrollably, like flames licking at my chest, until my eyes lock into the conclusion at the end of the report. Suspected mild bacterial phenomena. Currently receiving intravenous treatment. Further observation required. Rest is advised. Bacterial phenomena? At current medical standards, that should mean a few days of IV treatment should clear it up? And it's mild? So Colleen's fine. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I clutch the communicator, a wave of relief washing over me. Just as I'm feeling optimistic about Kalina's condition, I suddenly hear hurried footsteps approaching from afar. Commander! Why didn't you tell me you're going on a mission? I really underestimated Kalina's work ethic and her determination. After confirming there was nothing seriously wrong with her, she discharged herself that very day. Then after returning to the base and learning I'd head for Berlin, she rushed over immediately. How could you go without me, Commander? Honestly, after everything we've been through, missions like this no longer faze me. Still, Kalina's arrival brings me a sense of reassurance. And it's not just me. Everyone from the ER team in Squad 44 seems more at ease with her here. We all know this trip to Germany is a true venture into the lion's den. Compared to the straightforward gunfire of past enemies, facing an unknown threat like this keeps us constantly on edge. Kalina's presence eases that tension, and the atmosphere lightens. Sometimes it almost feels like we never left the base. It's not because she doesn't understand the situation. On the contrary, I think she amps up her bubbliness deliberately. No matter when, she knows exactly what we need. The sense of normalcy is exactly the support we need right now. And with her here, in certain situations, she's even more helpful than I am. For example, who are you people? None of us can calm down the panicked girl. You're not human. What are you going to do to me? Did they send you to capture me? Magdalene takes out a small knife, but her hands are shaking from fear. Once she realizes the dolls are not humans, she grows even more terrified of us strangers. Stay back! Don't touch me! I won't go back with you! I'll never work with you! Calm down, please. Please calm down, my lady. We're not bad people. Look, I'm not even armed. I'm just an ordinary human, see? Kalina approaches her with her warmest, most reassuring smile. Neither a soldier nor a T-doll, she looks even more fragile than the girl herself. Among all of us, she's the one who inspires the least suspicion. I know the stop has already circled behind Magdalene, but after a brief moment of hesitation, I shake my head slightly. Who exactly are you? We're the good guys. Though I know that doesn't sound very convincing. But we really don't intend to hurt you. Look, we have all these T-dolls, but all armed. If we wanted to do something, I wouldn't be the one talking to you, right? But I know you're scared. After all, what those people just did to you was horrible. The commander couldn't stand it any longer, so he got you out of there. Kalina's words seem to have triggered Magdalene's memory, and her face turns pale. But her thoughts also begin to settle. It's all coming back to her now. It was me who got her out. They're still chasing us, you know. You don't want to be caught again, do you? But don't worry. Kalina steps closer again, gently taking the hand that grips the knife. Magdalene startles, but only out of fear that she might accidentally hurt Kalina. We'll be fine with the commander here. Even if the sky falls, commander will hold it up for us. Commander? Say, how long are you planning to keep chatting? Did you forget we got pursuers behind us? Right. We'll talk somewhere safe. If you're willing to trust us, please come with us. Moklian's gaze shifts between Kalina and me. In the end, faced with Kalina's irresistible smile, she nods. Temporary Command Post, Berlin. Your name is Moklian, is that correct? Yes. What about you? Who are you? You can call me Robin. Robin. I see. In any case, you did save me. The commander looks up from the information on the tablet and carefully studies Moklian's appearance. Thanks, son, I appreciate that. She's still a little groggy and confused from the forced sedation. She looks practically identical to the picture of Morido, but her temperament couldn't be any more different. Is Morido just that good at disguising herself? Or is she really somebody else? Forgive me for being blunt, but are you a member of Paradis? I was never part of Paradis. I'm just an ordinary person. From what I know, there's a girl from Paradis who looks just like you. You heard her name before. Morda. What is your relationship with her? I remember your reaction. You seemed repulsed. What is your relationship with her? Or are you her, perhaps? I have only one name, Moklian. That's the only thing people call me. If I must speak of her, it's a name I never want to hear again. So you're not her? I swear on my life. Do you refuse to disclose the nature of your relationship with her? Maybe I'll never know your real name, but I have no reason to lie to you, Robin. I don't care about her secrets. I don't want to know them. I want nothing to do with her for the rest of my life. Then why were you in Bonstoff? You know that already. I've told you right off the bat. I was there to treat Elite patients. Why? There's no why to it. Since I had the ability to do so, I ought to use it to treat refugees in need. Stoff Manor hasn't been around for that long. Where were you before you came here? Treating patients somewhere else? You could say that. How exactly do you do it? To my knowledge, there is no existing medical cure for Elite. And yet, you are somehow capable of it. I saw it with my own eyes. If all you want from me is information regarding the cure to Elite, then you can just bring the patients to me, and I will save them. I'm sorry, but you seem to have misunderstood. I don't actually have any friends or family who require Elite treatment. In fact, every Elite patient you cure is someone I wish you could save. I don't understand. Then why have you brought me here? Many have tried to adopt me because of my ability to treat Elite. Either their loved one is ill, or they wish to profit from my ability. If the former doesn't apply to you, then it must be the latter? I'm not interested in money. We haven't known each other for long, but I believe you. If you truly don't have any ill intentions, then please let me go. There are still many patients waiting for me. I genuinely wish to help Elite patients. Not just the residents of Bonstoff, but also others all over the world. I have deep respect for your aspiration, but... There's a creak as Kalina pushes the door open. Commander, I've organized an intel about Bonstoff. Oh, hello again. Hello. Moklian visibly relaxes at the sight of the friendly young woman. But Bonstoff isn't a place worthy of them. The commander takes the file that Kalina has brought in with her. As you said yourself, people tend to approach you for two reasons. Let me tell you. The residents of Bonstaff are both desperate and opportunistic. If you don't believe me, here's all the proof you want. I compiled the dossier myself. You'll find all the intel sources listed in there. There's no doubt about it. Miss Mocklin, I'm afraid they deceived you. Mocklin reads the file silently. Sorrow flickers across her face for a brief moment, but then it's gone. How do you know about Mordo? You fought off Peridot's forces while bringing me here. Who exactly are you? I can't divulge our identities for now, but one thing is certain. We are enemies of Paradis. You want to know why we brought you here? Here's why. We do not wish to exploit your ability or to profit from it. The only reason we sought you out is because you are the spitting image of Mordo, and we are certain Mordo is part of a much larger conspiracy concerning Paradis. We're here to destroy Paradis, nothing more. And I personally believe you, Miss Mocklin. I've seen this Mordo's photo, and even if you look exactly like her, I don't think you're a bad person. So, there must be more to it. We won't force you, but if you're willing to tell us anything, maybe we can stop Paradis and their evil plots. We can help more people, just like you want to. Mocklin closes her eyes and ponders what she'd just been told. After a brief silence, she opens them again. They are now brimming with resolve. I understand. I don't know how much I can help, but I'll do my best, Miss Colleen and Robin. Thank you for believing me. I believe you too. Mocklin's past is even more tragic than we imagined. After witnessing our battle with Paradis and with persuasion from Kalina and myself, she finally agrees to cooperate. Her memories are chaotic and fragmented. Even she herself can't make sense of them. So for efficiency, we had Dandelion attempt to access them directly. Mocklin seems unusually distressed when she first sets eyes on Dandelion, but she calms down under Kalina's reassurance. After all, the body that Dandelion currently inhabits once belonged to Anito. That oversight is on me. If Mocklin hadn't witnessed our battle with Paradis earlier, that would have been tricky to explain. In any case, we end up uncovering something far more serious through Dandelion's memory search. Paradis is plotting something even bigger in Berlin. After reporting this to the Earl, I received an invitation that interrupts the investigation. Athena's Owl, downtown Berlin. Pleased to finally meet you, Captain Soy. I'm the AR Team's current commander, also in charge of Area S09 under Griffin's jurisdiction. Pleased to meet you, Commander. I am Anna Viktorovna Soy. But you can just stick to call me Inch. Seriously? Do we have to do this? Your instructions are totally in order, don't you think, Miss Inch? After all, this is the first time you're actually meeting face to face. I didn't expect you to tag along, but it's for the best. You can't have too many dependable people by your side. That said... Ange's face darkens as her gaze lands on the other person at the table. Out of respect for you, I didn't shoot straight away. So tell me, what exactly are you playing at? Please calm down, Miss Ange. Miss Mocklin is a totally different person from Mordo. Ignoring both Kalina's reassurance and Mocklin's apparent guilelessness, and simply continues to scowl at the commander. You honestly buy that load of bullshit? Hey, take it easy. Let me explain. Alright, go on then. I let out a sigh and proceeded to make my case bleakly. First of all, the way I see it, whether she's Mordo or Moklian is besides the point. Regardless of who she is, we obtained intel from her. Even if the intel cannot be verified and there's no telling if we're walking into a trap, we must take the risk. It's better than running around like headless chickens. Second, to answer your earlier question, I can only tell you that I also believe her. You don't fly off your handle just yet. I know a lot happened between you and that Nito in Bremen. That's why I brought her here for you to see yourself. No matter who she is, I'm sure you have many questions for her, don't you? Let's say Miss Moklian really is one of the bad guys. Right now, Task Force Defy, the AR team, and Squad 44 are all outside the bar. If she means the three of us humans harm, we are utterly at her mercy. Isn't that right? That's what pisses me off so much. Why would 12 agree to letting you bring her here? In the end, Clena and I managed to convince Ange to concede. She cocks her head to one side and gazes at Moklian. Moklian cowers a little under Ange's piercing stare, but Clena gives her hand an encouraging squeeze. Fine. Let's have a chat then. Berlin prison. How are things in your end? Almost all sorted. Is Defy done as well? Yeah. They clean up pretty much everything. This should be the last. Right. I nodded and let out a sigh of relief. Robin, I'm so grateful for you and Miss Ange's help. If it weren't for you, I can't even imagine. Moklian walks up to me and Ange without thinking. Ange clicks her tongue in annoyance, making Moklian flinch like a spooked cat. Miss Ange, you scared Miss Moklian. Do you still not believe her at this point? I honestly find your attitude mind-boggling, Commander. If you were a special agent, you would have died long ago. So what if it turned out to be right this time? You may not be so lucky next time. Keep up a healthy dose of suspicion and skepticism. It'll prolong your life. I'm sorry. Don't make up pointless apologies. You've done nothing wrong. Ange walks away from Moklian, leaving her to ponder the remark. I watch Ange as she lights up a cigarette off to the side. She seems a little morose. Not that I don't understand how much Ange feels, but I also sympathize with Miss Moklian. It's okay. Miss AK-12 told me a little about what happened in Bremen. It did sound like something Mordo would do. It's only natural that she loathes me, having suffered at Mordo's hands. That's not true. You had absolutely nothing to do with what Mordo did. I don't really understand what's the relationship between you and that Mordo. But it doesn't matter. If your sisters, clones, or even mother and daughter, you are not responsible for someone else's wrongdoing. You're your own person. You think so? Yeah. Someone to bother you. In fact, Ange is already convinced that you're not Mordo. Well, that's just the way she is. Yeah, that's just the way I am. Deal with it. Ange may be standing away from us, but she has clearly heard every word of our conversation. She pipes up a little exasperately, as if in rebuke, or maybe just to gripe. Clena sticks her tongue out at Ange. Then she exchanges a look with Moklian and winks at her. Even though Ange's stance has not really softened, Mocklin can't help but let out a soft chuckle. Because of Mocklin's presence, Ange and I end up operating together most of the time. Hold on, let me get this, grab a swig. Alright. The conspiracy hidden within Mocklin's memories threatens the safety of millions in Berlin. After learning the details, Ange naturally cannot ignore it. But in truth, she is also pursuing another lead of her own. She never lets up her investigation into Dr. Gray, all while working with us to dismantle the bombs scattered across the city. Her methods are extreme. Extreme enough that even I find them hard to stomach. I try to persuade her not to rush. Thanks to Mocklin, we've already grabbed hold of Paradis's tail. If we keep pressing forward, they will eventually slip up. And sure enough, we trace everything back to that familiar mansion, and inside, we find a name we all recognize. Just as Dandelion is sighing in his aspiration, that Dr. Gray, or rather, that Paradis Nito, arrives and has the mansion surrounded with a large force. Fortunately, through Ange and my joint efforts, we managed to break through. By the way, this is a mission where you do have to kill Gray on the map, and it's literally just like you walk into a door and you kill her. Outside a hotel in downtown Berlin, the Unity Day celebration. Whew. I take a deep breath, still feeling tense. The tie of my suit is pulled too tight, making my neck uncomfortable. I feel that. I'm wearing a tie myself. As I fidget awkwardly, the rear door of the van swings open, and familiar figures step out. I got things covered here. You're really not going in with them? No matter how disguised myself, there's no way I can blend in with the waitstaff. I'll leave that to the young ones. You see that like you're an old granny. You're young too, you know? Wanna die? No. Please stop arguing. Where's Colleen? I watched the bickering group. My infiltration partner is nowhere to be seen. Alright, don't be shy. Come on out and let Commander see. Wait, don't pull me. I'll come out myself. Amid laughter and the rustle of fabric, Mocklin jumps out of the van first. And beside her, she tugs along a hesitant figure. See? Commander's waiting for you. Miss Mocklin, I told you, this is embarrassing. With a gentle pull, Mocklin finally drags the blushing young woman into the light. A perfectly tailored black and white maid outfit, a lace-trimmed headpiece framing her signature ginger hair. The usually energetic girl now clutches her skirt helplessly, cheeks red as ripe apples, unable to even meet my eyes. For a moment, my mind goes completely blank. I'm sure it did! I never pictured what Kalina, who's always bustling around me, would look like in a maid outfit. Commander? Don't laugh and stop staring like that! Hey, I'm not laughing. It's just... you look great. The words come out awkwardly, and my face feels warm. It, really suits you. Huh? Finally stepping out of her shock, Kalina straightens up and smooths out her skirt with feigned composure. We're here for a mission, not for a costume party. If you're ready, let's move. Angie's ill-timed interruption ruins the moment. She rolls her eyes at us, then tosses a device to light. You remember what to do? Of course. Our post to investigate Rudolf von Oberstein. Pay special attention to his connection with Paradis. That mansion is under his name in his ancestral home. He's definitely involved. Personally, I prefer you slow down and cool off for a bit. After those stunt at the mansion, Stasi's support has basically been cut off. This surveillance van has been rotting in the storage. I never thought I'd use it again. This is the closest we've ever gotten to Paradis. We might even be nearing their heart. We can't let this go. Indeed. Even after the Earl repeatedly told you to stay out of it, you still won't listen. Classic Ange. Don't you bring him up. That old ghost's definitely hiding something. Still, I didn't expect you actually managed to get the commander and Miss Colleen inside. To Stasi was no help at all. I hacked my system and altered the duty roster myself. The Unity Day celebration is an important occasion, but with the Stasi's authorization, it shouldn't have been difficult to plant 2 extra people among the waitstaff. But our effort was met with unexpected resistance. There was probably some kind of intervention. I also almost got caught when hacking the system. For the first time, I ran into an electronic warfare unit nearly as strong as good as me. They're probably the best there is, other than yours truly. And the strangest part, it's almost as if they knew I was coming. Alright, you two get in there. Watch for the signal. Relay anything immediately. We'll support you from here. Got it. Robin? We need to get back. I want to take you somewhere. Where? A place that's very important to me. Come on, Commander, let's go. The banquet's about to start. Wait. Kalina pushes me forward. I give Maclean an apologetic smile before leaving with her. Stupid Commander. Let me use the bathroom. Be right back. Alright. You know how hard it is to pee in this uniform? Banquet hall. At the banquet, Kalina stands quietly in the corner like an ordinary maid, watching the powerful figures exchanging toast. Miss Mockley is already so unfortunate, and I still got all jealous of her. How awful of me. So that Commander's fault. If he hadn't caught me off guard, I wouldn't have panicked like that. Just complimented me, then immediately got all personal with Miss Mockley. But her mood lifts slightly as she recalls the Commander's expression earlier. You know where he was horny. She looks down at her outfit, lifting her skirt daintily. She hums a jolly tune and taps her heel in a little jig. No. This is the time for that. I'm here on a mission. She taps her earpiece to make sure that the signal is clear. Then with a deep breath, she steps into the crowd. The ballroom glitters with a gold and crystal. Chandeliers cast soft light across every guest, illuminating perfectly composed smiles. Champagne and fine cuisine scent the air. Classical music follows. Everything appears flawless. And we are the most inconspicuous details in the painting. Kalina moves gracefully through the crowd with a silver tray. With a flawless smile, she nods demurely at every guest she serves, as if she's been doing this for years. Meanwhile, I work on the opposite end of the hall, pouring wine and clearing plates. Occasionally our eyes meet, then quickly apart, as so to not draw any attention. The clock ticks on. We've identified nearly every guest, but the most important one still hasn't appeared. We regroup behind a quiet pillar, where Kalina pretends to pick up a new serving tray. Well? It's no good. I checked the main hall, side rooms, and the upstairs lounges. No sign of oversight at all. Is he even coming? Same here. Are you sure your intel is solid? That's impossible. He's probably the star of the show tonight. He should be making a speech soon. How could he not be here yet? Did we overlook something? I have a bad feeling about this. Just as we are all puzzling over how to proceed. Hello? Return. A small boy in a small suit. No older than 12. Looks at us nervously. He seems a bit timid and helpless. I notice a pen on his lapel, with an exquisite yet somewhat familiar design. I believe it's a griffin? How can we help you, young sir? I'm looking for the restroom, but I got lost. Kalina and I exchange a glance. She steps forward warmly. Don't worry, I'll take you. With a gentle smile, she takes his hand and leads him away down the corridor. I watch him disappear around the corner, then redirect my focus on the mission. Ange, do you copy? The target still hasn't appeared. I suspect the plan has changed, requesting new instructions. Hold position. Oversight is cautious. Our previous movements might have tipped them off. At times like this, we must not panic. Her voice cuts off abruptly, replaced by the sound of rapid typing. I frown, sensing something isn't right. Ange? Damn it! Listen, forget the mission. Evacuate immediately, now! Her voice is sharp and filled with unprecedented panic. My heart sinks. What happened? Berlin's air defense alarms got triggered. Countless aerial objects approaching at high speed. The target is... Before Ange can finish, the resounding scream of sirens drowns everything. In that instant, my blood turns cold. A chill runs all the way down my spine, making all my hair stand on end. My first and only thought: Colleen! I turn towards the corridor that she has gone down earlier. My mind is blank save for the figure dressed in the maid uniform. But I have barely taken a step. Blinding white light devours everything, followed by a deafening explosion. The ground shakes violently. Chandeliers shatter. A shockwave tears through the hall, sending glass, tables, and panicking people flying. My body is hurled into the air. My vision blurs as the world spins all around me. Then everything goes black. Darkness. Cold, endless darkness. My body feels crushed, weightless. I can't hear anything. It's as if I sunk deep into the ocean. Am I dead? Commander! Who's calling me? That voice is distant and muffled, but the heart-wrenching cry sounds familiar. I strain towards the source of the voice as my consciousness gradually returns. Orange light flickers into view, illuminating the darkness. Commander, you're awake! Thank goodness. Through my blurred vision, a teary face resolves into clarity. It's Colleen. She's crying. Colleen. I let out a groan, but my voice doesn't sound much like my own. Fire rages around us, turning everything the color of sunset. Now that you're awake, we have to go. I'll get you out. Seeing that I've regained consciousness, her entire face lights up with hope. She wipes away her tears and musters all her strength to pull me out of the rubble. But no matter how hard she tries, my lower body refuses to budge. I've finally become fully aware of my own situation, as intense pain shoots through me. My legs are pinned by a collapsed beam. It's no use, Colleen. I can't move. No! There's gotta be a way! Refusing to give up, she frantically tries to push away the heavy steel beam. Her slender fingers soon becomes bruised and bloodied, but she seems utterly oblivious to the pain. Don't waste your strength. Listen to me. Just go. Get out of here. No! I'm not leaving you behind! Never! Don't be stupid! We'll both die if you stay. Don't you understand? That's an order! I am ordering you to scram! I battle with all my strength I have left. The mix of anger, fear, and despair threatens to overwhelm me. I don't want her to die. I can't let her die here. No. She chokes back a sob. I'm not going. I'm not going! She stops her futile attempt of moving the beam. She shakes her head, and tears start welling up in her eyes again. But this time, she neither argues nor tries to run. She simply kneels down and takes my hand. Her face relaxes into a tearful, gentle, heartbreakingly soft smile. For once, I won't follow your orders, Commander. You. All my wrath and exasperation die in my throat as I look up at her smile. All I can do is sigh wordlessly. I see now. Nothing I do or say will make her leave. Sadness and a sense of resignation flood over me, but beneath it all, I also feel a trickle of warmth. Idiot. I try to raise my other hand to wipe away her tears, but I'm completely spent. Flames roar around us. It's as if the whole world is burning. Commander, will you take me to the green zone? Or the yellow zone? Anywhere? Can I stay with you? Always? I swallow the gob of blood in my mouth. My throat burns. I want to give you an ordinary and happy life. Not as a Griffin commander and adjutant, but just two ordinary people who want to be together. Her smile deepens through her tears. Idiot. You're such an idiot. Why wait till now to tell me? She leans in so that we're touching forehead to forehead. But thank you, Commander. It makes me really happy. The structure rumbles as it starts to collapse above us. More and more flaming debris rain down around us. Death closes in. I'm sorry. It's okay. At least you're mine now, right? With my last remaining strength, I nod. She squeezes my hand. Our fingers intertwine, and our spirits become one. The blaze grows more blinding, the roar of the fire more distant. But her hand is still so very warm, and her smile so very clear. Sleep now. This time, we won't be separated. Bad ending 02. This possible timeline runs a bit long, but that's the nature of the butterfly effect. Fucking recon. Oh no, you don't read my time. Yeah. If at the very beginning your adjutant had not fallen ill and had come to Germany with you, what would have happened? The answer is surprising. She is just an ordinary young woman, but the impact she has on the chain of event is critical. With her, you build a stronger bond with Angelia, which benefits both of you immensely. You even come close to bringing that unfortunate holy maiden back to the home she dreams of. But there are two sides to every coin. You save your friends, but lose the only chance to expose the conspiracies among certain powers. Pandora never fulfills her purpose and strikes at the heart of Germany. The Englishman, which is the Earl, fails to fracture the alliance from within. And somewhere beyond your sight, they plunge the world into war again in the cruelest way possible. But at least, the girl in you confess your feelings. Even if it never truly happened, in that very moment, you were each other's entire world. That's the mission, yeah. Meanwhile, Williams had the time of his life. Yeah, Williams gets out scot-free in that timeline. (2064) at a hotel in the White Zone of Frankfurt. Celebrity conversations? The commander furrows his brow. It's a talk show produced by DDR2, the Democratic German Broadcasting Network. Never heard of it. That's alright. You only need to know that this program has considerable influence in Frankfurt and across Germany. In times like these, the media must take on the responsibility of uplifting public morale. The Earl would like you to appear as a guest for the interview before the award ceremony. After dealing with the Earl multiple times, the commander has gradually come to understand his methods. This so-called interview is most likely intended to serve as political propaganda for the UNT's upcoming actions. They likely don't want the commander to say anything in particular, only to appear on camera as a symbolic figure. After all, he is a war hero. Nothing inspires people more than a hollow statue. The people of Frankfurt have just suffered greatly. They need a boost of morale. And your appearance as a hero before the camera can encourage them and quell negative public sentiment. Those are the Earl's words, aren't they? Understood. I'll accept the interview. The Earl will surely be pleased with your answer. He will arrange a vehicle for you, as well as an assistant to help guide the interview. You may follow the instructions throughout. To endure the harsh winter, one must first stockpile firewood. Until the moment the truth arrives, we must endure. (2064) Studio Backstage, White Zone, Frankfurt. 5 minutes before the interview begins. Remember to smile! What you present to the audience is the image of a gentle yet resolute hero. And that key phrase, have you memorized it? To be the shining beacon in a brave new world. Not that one. The other one. Make humanity great again? That's right. Simple, direct slogans like that resonate best with the public. Attention! Lord Oberstein has arrived. The sudden announcement makes the commander turn. Escorted by several staff members, a formally dressed figure, William, appears at the backstage entrance. What an interesting coincidence. What is going on? You didn't know? This is Lord Ballard von Oberstein, recipient of the Iron Cross. He will be interviewed alongside you. A young hero of the Neo-Soviet Union, side by side with a local rising star. This pairing perfectly aligns with the UNC government's ideals. What a pity. Had I known you'd be here, I would have prepared a gift in advance. If I had known I'd be sharing a stage with you, I would have gladly accepted your gift. The interview is about to begin. Please proceed to the stage. The commander turns and walks towards the stage, unwilling to exchange further words with William. By the way, that "Make Humanity Great Again" thing is also in the Chinese version, so... Studio, White Zone, Frankfurt. Good evening. I am Shadowless, reporter of DDR2. Welcome to today's Celebrity Conversations. I'll be your host. The war has brought immense suffering to Frankfurt, but the heroic acts that emerge from it have given us the strength to encourage to endure hardship. Today, DDR2 has invited 2 of the most prominent medal recipients. Under the soft studio lights, Shadowless smiles towards the camera. Just days ago, she had been moving through ruins under roaring artillery fire, reporting the devastation of war. Back then, she had accepted death as a possibility. Never imagined she would once again stand here, hosting such an ordinary program amid gentle music. First, to take the stage is Lord Oberstein. During the war, he actively advanced cooperation with the RNC government, providing key technology and intelligence. He contributed greatly to bringing the war to a swift conclusion. Shadowless suddenly feels a moment of disorientation as she looks at the applauding audience. They are all citizens of Frankfurt. Some have just lost family and friends. We also have the hero from the U.S. Soviet Union, who was mistakenly believed to have died in action and posthumously awarded the Gold Star Medal just days ago. During the war, they rescued civilians, distributed supplies, cleared roads, and saved countless lives. Perhaps someone in the audience was once helped by this very commander. Thank goodness, we are able to witness the return of a hero. That's my name. Relying on her keen instincts as a reporter, Shadowless senses the strange atmosphere in the studio. There is an invisible tension between the commander and William, as if they are wary of each other. Now, I would first like to start by asking the commander, what motivated your courageous acts during Frankfurt's time of suffering? I did what I did out of my love for the people of Frankfurt. But you are not a resident of the city. Where does that love come from? From the ideals of Readthrough, for the greatness of all of humanity. I see. It seems the light of Readthrough has crossed borders and reached the hearts of a visitor from afar. Such sudden and earnest love for Frankfurt. It may even put some of the locals to shame. Since Readthrough hasn't mentioned, I have a question for both of you. What are your views of the Central and Eastern European nations' momentous decision of joining the RNC? Without a doubt, joining the RNC will greatly change each of our lives. Could you elaborate? How exactly will our lives change? First, the RNC possesses the most advanced technology. Plans are already underway for large-scale purification of contamination zones. This initiative may completely resolve humanity's survival crisis and usher in a new era of prosperity. In addition, under the RNC's leadership, various technologies will become safer than they are now. For example, the upcoming dog regulation policies are a crucial measure in response to recent incidents. Back when she was a rookie reporter, Shadowless had handled similar assignments. In interviews, she would simply ask predetermined questions, while all responses had already been scripted in advance. Those in power manipulate the truth. What the public sees is always only a fragment of it. Shadowless turns off the audio of the interview prompt and glances at Falk, the cameraman beside her. Having worked together on the battlefield, Falk seems to understand her intent and grows visibly uneasy. Then, Lord Oberstein, may I ask, are you aware of the reports currently circulating online regarding Cornelia Schaefer's expose? What are you talking about? Cornelia Schaefer was once a research assistant under the Galatea Corporation. On the day of Frankfurt's memorial speech, she delivered a public address. She claimed that the push for comprehensive dog regulation is actually to make way for illegal patents involving robotic technology and human biological components. What? Where did this madwoman come from? Shadowless' unexpected move not only leaves Oberstein at a loss, but also throws the entire production crew into panic. Some frantically signals her to stop, while others rush into the control room, seemingly preparing to cut off the broadcast. How can we air this? Cut it out! Wait, Chief Editor! Let Shadowless continue. What are you saying? She's gone mad. Are you losing your marbles too? Do you know what consequences are? But the DDR's principle has always been to deliver the truth to the people. Chalice is upholding that principle. She wants to uncover the truth behind this war. Fuck, you weren't like this before. Chalice must have been a bad influence. You even went to the battlefield with her. It was precisely because of that I remembered my duty as a journalist. Editor, I heard you have once a war correspondent too. Sending back the most valuable information from the most dangerous fronts. That was in the past. But for the citizens, the war has just happened. It's not in the past. We are citizens too. Should we not question the truth behind all this? Falk looks at his colleagues. They have all lived through the war and lost much. Moved by his words, they all looked pleadingly at the chief. I'm not saying that name, sorry. Damn it. Fine, I'm done arguing. But don't come crying to me when you lose your jobs. And tell them to rein it in. Otherwise, I'm afraid we won't just be losing our jobs. Lord Oberstein, are you aware of this matter? All baseless rumors. I have nothing to say to that. At this moment, the commander, who has been silent the whole time, suddenly speaks. The desire to steal fire was man's original sin. I believe everyone still remembers that incident at the Alte Oper. That's zero charge, by the way. The rumors that Miss Schaefer was spreading may in fact be some kind of warning. The sins of stealing fire? Does that mean excessive technological development brings danger? But without technology, how can humanity survive in a world plagued by collapse radiation? I don't oppose technology. I oppose the so-called price paid in its pursuit. If the rumors you mentioned are true, then there must be other figures who have been replaced like Dr. Gray. Those behind the scenes pursue technology at the expense of innocent people, turning them into sacrifices. Whatever their goal, their methods have already brought conflict and war. But these are still rumors. Surely, with the UNC's intervention, the relevant authorities will conduct a fair investigation. This world belongs to everyone. It should not be controlled by just a handful of conspirators spreading rumors. I understand. Then I suppose this is also why you persisted in your actions during the war. Do you intend to change the world through such actions? For example, by continuously aiding civilians, drawing the attention of elites and those in power to the neglected lower classes, and restraining the misuse of technology that leads to war? I don't know. I don't know if I can change the world, and I never intended to be a hero. I only want to do what I feel must be done. Even if it changes nothing in the end, I will still give it everything I have. That's all I have to say. Thank you for your answer. That concludes our interview with Frankfurt's hero, the commander. That's the battle? (2064) at an abandoned factory in Frankfurt. While the interview was taking place at the DDR2 studio in an industrial district somewhere in Frankfurt. Outside a factory that has been abandoned for many years. The sound of dry branches snapping underfoot echoes. At the stillness, thick with rust and decay, is disturbed by unwelcome visitors. Dust rises like startup ghosts, swirling in shafts of light slanting in through the broken windows. Yeah, got cobwebs stuck to my face. We're basically like rats rummaging through garbage in the ruins of the city. I don't mind being a rat, but I at least like a cleaner's place to sleep. Since we're rats, we better dig out all the dirty little secrets that the Earl has hidden in the sewers. Dandelion, are you sure this is the right place? Affirmative. There should be an electronic security door nearby that's still operational. Ah, I think I found it, but it needs authentication to open. Clean is the first to notice the alloy electronic door hidden among the debris. A low hum can be heard as the indicator light on the control panel blinks faintly. With Dandelion around, I guess I don't need to step in, right? Hold on, I'm working on it. Dandelion's voice comes through the communicator in Lena's hand. Lena had no idea that she's the mysterious figure AK-12 mentioned, the one relaying messages on the commander's behalf. Quinn looks at Dandelion's virtual avatar on the screen, recalling her conversation with Tokarev a few days ago. What Tokarev doesn't know is the commander's final ending. But only the commander and she know. The reason Dandelion lost her body, and why that tank drove down that road. Miss Dandelion? It's done. Huh? The door's unlocked. That was fast. Before Kalina can figure out how to broach the subject, Dandelion has already finished cracking the lock. The indicator light on the door turns green. You look like you wanted to talk to me in private. I can pretend that the hack is still underway and keep 45 years waiting for a bit longer if you want. It's not anything important. Kalina takes a deep breath. Sorry, it actually is important. Miss Dandelion, is the commander okay? The commander's fine. At this very moment, he's delivering an inspiring speech to all of Frankfurt. Unfortunately, we can't watch the broadcast. A speech? What's going on? It's complicated, but don't worry. I'm monitoring the situation constantly. I won't let anything happen to him. So you really have been staying by his side all along, Dandelion. I have some more good news for you. The neural cloud cell Tokarev's squad has been successfully recovered. Task Force Defy is securing new frames for them, and they should be rebooted soon. Really? Thank you. You don't have to thank me. It's the commander's order. Once he set his mind to something, he doesn't give up until it's done. I've been so busy during his bidding, I haven't had any rest in quite a while. That's right. Once the commander gets to work, he drags everyone else into overtime, and doesn't even realize it himself. Which is why, when things finally fall apart, he is usually the one who's usually the first to go down. Exactly. That's why I'm always so worried about him. Honestly, even when I'm not around, he hasn't changed at all. Aren't you done talking? We need to move. The door's open. I've also scanned the layout ahead. The commander's orders are to infiltrate this facility. I expect the guards inside. Guards? In an abandoned factory like this? We won't know until if it's truly abandoned or not, without further investigation. Indeed. Stay ready for combat. G11 and M16 will take point. 9 and 9 will cover the rear. Make sure that we keep it safe. If possible, I prefer rear guard duty too. It sounds easier than being the vanguard. I'm definitely requesting a transfer once 416 gets back. And taking back all the rest I owed. .64 Underground Factory, Frankfurt. The group takes a narrow freight elevator and soon reaches a warehouse filled with raw materials. Careful. Those are URNC soldiers? Wait, what's in these crates? Dandelion? Without a doubt, these goods belong to Paradise. They thought that I wouldn't notice just because there are no markings. How naive. So the UNC is still colluding with Paradise. And this is just one production line. Based on our intel, there are many more facilities like this throughout Frankfurt. All reactivated with the UNC support. Curious how you even found these facilities when the Earl has gone to such great lengths to hype them. It's all thanks to our commander. Fortresses are easiest to breach from within, and so are intelligence networks. That does like his style. Let's hope he doesn't set a bad example for others. So what's next? We can't let the sacrifice go to waste. Let me think. If you want me to dig deeper into their system, you'll need to create a diversion. That's easy. Let's start with an explosion. We're going to destroy this place anyway. A few minutes later, alarms blared throughout the factory. Gunfire and explosions erupt one after another. Several tear gas grenades are thrown from unknown directions, and thick smoke engulfs the guard's vision. Intrude Section Lab E4. 4 targets, including T-Dolls. Open fire. Oof, that was close. We're outgunned, and they have us pinned down. 45. Don't you have G11's battery switch? Should we turn it on? No, wait, no. I don't want to charge in here. I'll get shredded. Rather one of us gets shredded than all of us, right? Calm down. Stay behind cover. We're just a bait this time. 4-Force firepower weakens after several seconds of gunfire fights. UNC soldiers advance steadily using alternating cover tactics. But once they enter the smoke, their visibility drops as well. None of them notice a nimble figure silently circling behind them. That's the army for you. Behind us! Win! Ugh. Too bad. You're still green. That should be enough for a diversion, right? This is more than a diversion, it's a full-on assault. Did you find what we're looking for? I've hacked into the factory's main system and found some interesting records. This production line was active for a short while a few days ago. The goods were shipped to a single location. This should be the place the commander has been searching for. Jackpot! Looks like 4-4 wasn't baiting for nothing. Hey, why not check on the other factories and labs too? The data is encrypted. I need more time to crack it. But we may not have that luxury. Just as Dandelion finishes speaking, the isolation door ahead begins to move. Through the haze, accompanied by that familiar hum, a white figure emerges. Ooh, what is that? Anita? Never seen one like this before. It's Greg. I didn't expect her to be here. I don't want to fight her. I recommend you hightail it out of there. Your NC soldiers are also converging on your position. Yeah, can't be helped. We mustn't get trapped here. All units prepare to break through. Withdraw immediately. That's the mission right there. Ready for the next one? Next timeline shift? Two hours and 15 minutes until Nidhogg Protocol takes full effect. The air resounds with fierce gunfire. The number of dolls still fighting has dwindled considerably. Commander, we have confirmed the elimination of Brand and Styx. Defia 404 are pursuing Hebe, while Mordo her whereabouts remain unknown. Defia 404 may not be able to handle them on their own. Take several dolls and reinforce them. Leave no one alive. AR team, with me. Roger. The commander unlocks the safety of his handgun while cautiously advancing towards their operating theater. On the way there, a heavy weight still lingers on his mind. What is going on with Tunisia? Is the procedure not finished yet? The team halts just outside the operating theater, taking positions on both sides of the door. RO looks at the commander and gestures towards the lock. The commander takes a deep breath. His gaze sharpens, and he nods decisively. The door bursts open, and the AR team storms inside. In a flash, they raise their weapons and secure the room. The moment the commander steps through the doorway, he sees the face that has haunted his dreams for years. You! That twisted face barely manages a single word before the commander pulls the trigger. It happens in an instant. The Makarov's muscle still smells of gunpowder. William's face is forever locked in that contorted expression the moment the shot is fired. No excuses, no hesitation. No explanations, no deception, no mourning, no repentance. No questions left to ask, no truths left to confirm. He simply aims, then fire. Nothing more. After the single shot, the commander gestures for the team to sweep the room and remain alert. Then, standing before William's corpse, he aims for the heart, the abdomen, the head. The Makarov, with a capacity of 8 rounds, is now empty. The slide locked back. The commander's finger remains on the trigger, pressing it again and again, as if he was still shooting William. As if killing him 1,000 times, 10,000 times, 1,000,000 times would still not be enough. Commander! RO stares blankly, at a loss as to what to do. Commander, are you okay? She's about to step forward, but then the commander lowers the pistol and walks out. Too many have died by his hand. Too much blood has been spilled. The crimes committed, the path we have gone down because of him, allowed no room for mistakes. This is the only way the dead can be put to rest. Now the blood can finally stop flowing. RO, we've finally taken our revenge. With that, the commander removes his cap and leaves. RO has never seen that look in his eyes before. Inside a certain UNC office in the White Zone of Frankfurt. Sir, we've received confirmation. Lord Ballard von Oberstein is dead. We've secured a perpetrator for now. How should we proceed? The Earl stands by the window with his face clasped behind his back. Frankfurt stretches before him, yet he looks upon it with indifference. It's impossible to tell what is on his mind. The seasoned Stasi agent waits uneasily through the long stretch of silence. Outside, dark clouds gather. The wind rises. Frankfurt, under the westerlies, is usually blessed with steady rain. A gentle wind in peaceful times, bringing moisture and life. But in times of turmoil, it becomes a storm wind, summoning oppressive clouds and lashing rain. Sure enough, the once gentle wind shifts. In an instant, a storm starts raging outside. Watching Frankfurt swallowed by torrential rain, the Earl finally speaks. In the end, the commander is neither hedgehog nor fox, just an ordinary man who crossed the line. Rain lashes against the window with sharp, staccato taps, but the interior of the office remains deathly silent. Handled it in accordance with the law. Yes, sir. In a certain prison in the white zone of Frankfurt, time stretches into something immeasurable. In the darkness, it thickens like congealing hydraulic fluid, barely flowing. The commander can't recall the last time he saw sunlight, nor the last time he spoke. His hair is falling out in clumps. The stench of his own body has numbed his sense of smell. His teeth are loosening, and a constant ringing fills his ears. His reaction is slow. His eyesight deteriorates day by day. He no longer ruminates on the question, was it worth it? Because he already knows the answer. It had to be worth it. That's an unshakable conclusion. One that must never be overturned. Though imprisoned, only the commander himself knows who truly saved Frankfurt, who deserved that Gold Star medal. The fact they're now in this sorry state is no accident. It's the doing of the UNC's upper ranks. History is not always progressive. This is merely the polar night before dawn. There is no mistake. Everything was worth it. They must think of it that way. There's no other possibility. Because otherwise, there'd be no reason to bear it all. It wasn't worth it. If it wasn't worth it, then it would have all been. At least William is dead. Paradise is shattered. There will be no more victims of illegal experiments. That is enough. The commander looks up at the sound of the prison guard striking the iron door with a baton. 10796. Come get your slop. Only then does the commander register his hunger. Meals has always come at the guard's whim, so there's no point in feeling hungry. Learning how to suppress one's biological needs is the key. Move it! The commander can no longer stand upright. His spine and limbs have degenerated, so they wriggle towards the door. Once, this would have been humiliating. Now, it's nothing. The guard sets down the bowl, but does not leave. Unusual. But it doesn't matter. Humiliation, torture, he can do anything he pleases. It's all routine at this point. The commander reaches for the bowl. The gruel is as foul as ever, and can barely be called food. He eats anyway, wolfing it down. Rotten, sour taste filled his mouth. The commander quietly resigns himself to another bout of diarrhea that night. Huh? He finished half of the gruel, but the guard still hasn't left. So the commander looks up. Their eyes meet. You're... The moment they notice something's wrong about the guard, his tongue and lips go numb. A prickling sensation spreads across his mouth. The bowl clatters to the ground, not by will, but because his fingers have also gone stiff and numb. He struggles to stand, only to collapse in a heap again. He can't utter a sound. His throat is thick, making it impossible to swallow. Breathing grows difficult. He grows weak. Death closes in. The commander watches as the guard approaches. He removes his hat, revealing a beautiful face with delicate features. A familiar face, that slender build. Only then does the commander realize it's not a he, but a she. Ugh! He writhes on the ground, but his body refuses to obey. Only his eyes are still theirs to command. They are now wide with fury. At that moment, the commander finally realizes that death is not the worst thing in this world. Hello, Commander. I'm sure you know who I am. Lying on the ground, barely breathing, tears stream uncontrollably from the commander's eyes. Even with just a brief glance at his visitor, he is fully aware of the situation. Reality blurs like a dream, like a life spent in struggle, only to end in emptiness. I came on Lord William's orders to deliver a message. Your ideals are nothing but a pitiful lie. Cling to them and drown silently in a corner. That might be a happier ending for you. Footsteps fade away. The commander's consciousness begins to unravel. The commander gazes up at the ceiling. As he lies flat on the floor, the dim light gleams like a sight of death. The ringing in their ears become his whisper. Before losing consciousness completely, the commander knows with absolute certainty he's going to die. The ideals he's pursued all his life, shattered in an instant. What a despicable, powerless life he's lived. As the commander breathes his last, all he feels is bitterness and resentment. At a rendezvous point somewhere in the White Zone of Frankfurt. Frankfurt in November is never a pleasant place. The days grow colder. The sun is already gone by 4 or 5. Then comes the dreadfully long night. Even in daytime, the sun rarely appears. Everything is suffocatingly gray. Over Frankfurt hangs not only visible clouds, but unseen political undercurrents. I lost count how many plainclothes I've spotted along the way. When did Frankfurt become like this? Since the commander went missing, Agent J has lost his happy-go-lucky demeanor. He has grown serious and dour. The reason is the city's quiet transformation. Most visible of all, the secret police everywhere. Kevin, you're being followed. Check your 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. There are 2 of them. Damn weasels! Clicking his tongue under his breath, Agent J lowers his cap and quickens his pace. Using his familiarity with Frankfurt, he weaves through the streets. However, instead of falling behind, His pursuers slowly close the distance. Damn it! There's an alley ahead that leads to the sewers. You can shake them there. Got it. Sewers, White Zone, Frankfurt. Front left. Go straight 20 meters. Then take an immediate right. Got it. Jay drops all pretense and runs at full speed through the sewers. Behind him, the pursuers do the same. At the next turn, Jay is almost overcome by despair. It is a straight corridor. He's no match for the two marathoners behind him in terms of speed and endurance. He's only managed to stay ahead by navigating the maze-like sewer system under 45's guidance. But now, in this corridor that's straight as an arrow, there's nowhere for him to turn or hide. His capture is inevitable. Hey, where do I go now? Can't you lie from Namfa be a little more helpful? Hey, answer me! Shit! Single loss? Now? No choice. From here on, he's on his own. Jay glances back. The two figures are getting closer. Deep in the sewers, White Zone, Frankfurt. The sound of footsteps draw closer and closer, while Jay's stamina is already at its limits. I can't catch my breath. Am I going to get caught? Damn it! Just as Jay is about to draw his sidearm and make a last stand, he suddenly hears several extremely heavy footsteps coming from above his head. More pursuers above me? Are they trying to kill me outright? But something feels off. If those are footsteps, they are far too heavy. What the? A sudden deafening blast erupts, accompanied by a massive shockwave. Jay is thrown to the ground by the earth-shattering impact. Ugh. What kind of firepower is that? Did they fire a bunker buster? Dust fills the air after the explosion. Jay looks up. Slightly above him, a massive hole has opened in the ceiling. And within the endless dust, he can just about make out the silhouette of a doll. A towering doll of immense stature. AK-15? As the dust scratching settles, Jay finally recognizes the figure. Hey, do you have to make such a splashy mess? Another, more slender doll approaches. She waves her hand, fanning away the dust as she nears Jay. After getting the message from 45, you went from just picking up the pace to punching through a blast door. And now you straight up kicked through a sewer pipe of reinforced concrete. You're practically a high-speed train at full throttle. The two of them jump down from the shattered pipe, AK-15 destroyed, and land beside Jay. I thought I was gonna die. Seeing familiar faces appear one after another, Agent Jay's expression finally relaxes a little. He gets to his feet and dusts himself off. By the way, she asked us to pass us a message. We were Griffin. Don't get that wrong. Fair enough. None of us are here on official duty anyway. Speaking of official duty, Stasi sent him, right? Aren't they your old colleagues? Why are they running after you like you owe them money? There were no needles among my former colleagues. Needles? Following Jay's gaze, the group looks towards AK-15, who is walking out of the billowing cloud of dust. She tosses something she's been carrying onto the ground. It's a Nito, missing half its body, completely lifeless. Why are Nitos wearing Stasi uniforms? Over the past year, the number of secret police in Frankfurt has increased fivefold, with almost 3 Stasi agents watching every 2 households. But with the war being so recent, the population losses hasn't been recovered. Not to mention the negative birth rate. It's all because a large number of Nitos have infiltrated the Stasi ranks. That doesn't make any sense. Nitos all look the same. Human agents should be able to spot them easily. And in Paradise... That's exactly why we're here today. At some point, 45 has joined the group of 9. We tried filing investigation requests, but all of them were rejected. We had no choice but to do this off the books. Everyone gathered here today, no matter your current affiliation. You're here as members of Griffin. Understood? Huh? Even me? You're an honorary member. We made a lot of noise. Let's get out here quickly. We can talk later. The longer we delay, the more danger the commander's in. No. Our target is right here. Huh? More precisely, beneath our feet. Deep in the sewers in the white zone of Frankfurt. So the ones coming after me just now were the Nitos guarding the lab? The group forms up and advances cautiously, with AK-15 taking point. Along the way, they encounter several Nitos, but they are silently taken down by AK-12 and 94, who handle reconnaissance. Not necessarily. The 2 chasing you were probably just standard patrol units. If it had been the ones I took out earlier, you would have been dead the moment they spotted you. Their specs weren't low. Several of them sensed something wrong before I made a move. And the deeper we go, the stronger the security gets. The Nitos out there were manageable, but the ones we just ran into were already quite tricky. They're perceptible enough to notice us even when we're trying to ambush them. As for the ones deeper inside, they might be even stronger. So, are you going to tell us what's going on now? What on earth happened to the troublemaker? A while back, about a year after the Battle of Frankfurt, 45 came to me saying she couldn't contact the commander. At the time, I'd just been kicked out of Stasi, and had no connections left. Without solid intel, we couldn't act recklessly, so we stayed under the radar. We investigated for a long time. Didn't get much, but one thing for certain. Paradise didn't disappear. If anything, it's thriving, and operating at an even larger scale. The commander killed William, and Paradise should have collapsed. How did it turn out like this? And the timing of the Paradise resurgence matches the moment the commander disappeared. Even a child wouldn't believe there's no connection. I don't believe that troublemaker would die so easily, but he must be in trouble. That's why I'm here. Commander has to be okay. He must have been hidden somewhere. Security is tight around here. We're getting close. Prepare yourselves. Kevin, you're the only human here. If combat breaks out, stay in a safe position and coordinate us. Got it? Yeah. Leave it to me. Everyone came here on their own after hearing the news, chasing down leads about the commander. I'm not like him. I don't have any inspiring words, but we're all here for one thing and one thing only. If the commander's alive, we find him. If he's dead... Jake pauses. He swallows hard. The word dead weighs 1,000 pounds. Too heavy to speak. If he's dead, we avenge him. A crushing weight settles over everyone's chest. They meet each other's gaze with solemn resolve. The consensus is clear. The only path forward is to break through the fog and uncover the truth. In a top secret lab deep in the sewers of the White Zone of Frankfurt, it can be said that this is one of the most difficult battles Adulza ever faced. Just 5 standard Nidos have managed to deal devastating damage to the team. These things can no longer be called Nidos. AK-15, 3 o'clock. 94, provide covering fire. Amid the hail of bullets, Jay immediately issues commands based on battlefield conditions. But the enemy's firepower and mobility far exceed expectations. The team was barely able to eliminate 3 of the 5 Nidos while taking very heavy losses. Even Jay, who's being protected, had his right shoulder torn open by stray bullets, twisted at an unnatural angle. The remaining 2 Nidos are drawn away by the still mobile AK-12, led on a chase along the outer perimeter that isn't looking too good for the outnumbered doll. The most severely injured is Stevens. Half her frame, from eye to hip, is nearly destroyed. Leaning against the wall, she struggles to hold her gun with one hand, firing to keep the approaching Nidos at bay. The team finally pushes to the front line through the blast door at great cost. AK-15, breach the door. Everyone else, full cover. Understood. AK-15 charges forward, but this blast door is less a door and more of a steel wall. Even AK-15 cannot break through it quickly. The delay forces everyone to extend their defensive cover, but the enemies show no mercy. We just took out 3, and reinforcements have already arrived? What is these things anyway? Hard as alloy and fast as hell! Nobody answers her. The atmosphere grows tense. Everyone knows how this will likely end. But Stevens doesn't seem to care. She forces herself upright. This might feel like some cliché movie moment, but someone still has to do it. Stevens, what are you doing? You're the most heavily injured. You can't even stand. Don't be ridiculous. Hey, high-speed train. How long do you need to break that door? 3 minutes. But I need full concentration. Got it. Take what ammo and explosives you need and leave the rest to me. The cover here won't hold much longer. If I trigger another detonation, I can at least build you a wall thick enough to block them. We can't beat those 2 monsters head on, but we can separate them. Their movements are unpredictable, so someone needs to seize the moment. That someone, it's me. Stevens lifts her head, her gaze sweeping across everyone. You need more combat strength. I'm no longer useful. The rest is up to you. And if you see the commander, tell them this for me. No matter what happens, I want him to live well. Don't be a soldier anymore. Stay away from danger. Just be an ordinary person and live a good life. No, Stevens! If you want to stay behind, it should be me. I can still fight. 9 tries to protest, but 45 stops her. Hey, Miss One-Eye. Drag your crying little sister out here. You all have things to do, right? Your messages have been duly noted. I'll pass it on when we see the commander. 9 says nothing more, but her quiet sobbing adds a layer of sorrow to the already tense air. It is the moment of farewell. Everybody gives her one last look to pay their respects. just as AK-15 breaches the last blast door within the promised time frame. The two needles' tension shifts. Stevens' M520 unleashes what little firepower she has left. Doesn't land many hits, but it's enough to force them back. Eyes on me! The needles dodge midair, but Stevens times their movements and detonates the explosions laid earlier by 45. She has their full attention now. They know that in order to pass through the breached door, they must first deal with this crippled doll. A needle, no matter how strong, is still just a needle. A Hume doll superior. Anywhere, anytime. In a flash, Stevens' M520 presses the final switch. Steel and concrete collapse completely. Countless chunks fall, piling into an insurmountable barrier. Stevens is blown backward alongside the needles rushing her. The flight feels both endless and fleeting. She closes her eyes. Her life flashes by like a shooting star. Too brief. Whether it was bickering with Irma or fighting side by side with the commander, those days are undeniably resplendent, like crystal pendants on a chandelier. Inside a lab in the white zone of Frankfurt. The moment the door opens, a cold flash cuts through the darkness. Jay, being human, reacts too slowly. Enemy attack! Night vision on! Sis? Only Nine's trembling voice can be heard in darkness. Jay turns and finds Nine frozen in a state of neural shutdown. He rushes towards her to find out what happened. But before he gets close, he hears something hit the ground and roll up to his boots. It's 45's head, her expression frozen at the moment she entered. Below the neck, the cut is smooth like tofu sliced by a superheated blade. The blade doesn't stop after beheading 45. It flashes again the next second. With a small explosion, 45's core is destroyed before everyone's eyes. 45! Footsteps echo in the dark. Under the faint light, Jay recognizes the figure approaching. The realization makes him freeze. In that instant, the figure vanishes. Kevin, snap out of it! In a flash, 94 is already in front of him, clashing with the enemy. I'm not mistaken. That's Greg! But why is she... No! You killed 45! I'll kill you! Nine snaps out of her catonic state, drops her weapon, and enters the fray. But for some reason, Greg is far stronger than before. Her movements are like streaks of silver light, too fast for the human eye to register. 94 and 9 are forced back even when they join forces against her. 9! Don't lose your head! Don't just stand there. Oh, should you really be worrying about others now? Tell me, most powerful doll, what exactly are you looking at? Huh? First comes a sonic boom that nearly deafens Jay. Then a massive explosion, shaking the entire lab. Jay's eyes doesn't even catch what just happened. Only the aftermath. Turning back, he sees a slender figure standing before a shattered wall. A figure that's tall, thin, and frail, almost like a reed. Yet that very figure is effortlessly gripping the AK-15 by the throat with one hand. Completely indifferent to the power she's restraining, she simply turns and grins at Jay. Jay's brain finally pieces together what just happened. In an instant beyond human perception, AK-15 was slammed into the wall by a black blur. The sonic boom was a slender figure of movement, and the explosion was AK-15 crashing into the wall. Long time no see, Agent. Remember me? Amaris? No, you're not Amaris. Who are you? She is Amaris, the one and only. It's understandable that you find her unfamiliar. After all, the moon is my masterpiece. Now she is truly the most powerful doll in existence. A familiar voice echoes from the corridor. Footsteps approach as the lights flicker on, and Jay can finally make out the newcomer. What? He is speechless. He can't wrap his head around everything that he just witnessed. Long time no see, Kevin. I hope you've been well. She peers at Jay like a vulture eyeing a fresh carcass. Jay has never seen Neil smile like that before. As the lab lights fully illuminate, Jay sees the surroundings clearly. His eyes widen as he takes in the horror. He once thought the experiments under Ballard von Obersheim's Paradise was already beyond monstrous. He never imagined someone could surpass them. He is a seasoned special agent, yet even this visible portion alone makes his stomach convulse. No. This can't be. How could this be? Impossible. I don't believe it. You're lying. You gotta be lying. This was all you? Neil! What are you doing? What am I doing? I'm simply doing what must be done. Reforging the world, changing its rules, establishing order, ushering in its rebirth. That is what I'm doing. No, it's not an excuse. Doesn't justify bringing back human experimentation. Paradise is already finished. Why take it over? What do you gain? So you think, after your commander executed Ballard like a dog, Frankfurt would just enter an age of peace? I am really accomplished what neither Day nor Ballard could. Father, should I kill this human? Footsteps close in from behind. Agent J turns to look and sees Greg, her face cold and impassive. She drives two broken dolls, AN-94 and UAP-9, judging from their clothes. She then tosses them down like trash at Jay's feet. 94. That's not really necessary, is it? Aren't you Kevin here all alone now? There's not much you can do anymore. Oh, and that little flea outside? The one likes jumping around and can turn invisible? I caught her too. Two more badly mangled doll frames hit the ground. Task Force Defy, Squad 404 are all wiped out. Mission failed. Jay collapses to the ground. He cannot process any of it. After a long silence, he stares at the now unrecognizable Neil. It's Greg and those enhanced needles outside. That was all you? Just a trivial bit of work. Oh no, that one. I just want to say, motherfucker! What the hell are you doing? Did you kill the commander too? Unfazed by Jay's wrath, Neil just sighs and steps closer. Under the cold light, her lab coat looks like a reaper's cloak. After Ballard died, the Earl found me and showed me the truth of relics. Only then did I recognize how ignorant I had been. The power of the relics is the key to opening the new world. Relics, relics, relics! It's just another lunatic driven insane by them! Got nothing to say to you. I just hope your research kills you halfway through. Take your new role and go to hell! In that case, there's nothing left to discuss. Since you're an old friend, I was going to let you off. But you made too much noise. I had to do something, or the Earl would demand an explanation. She smiles and pats Moon on the shoulder. I'll leave it to you. Make it clean. Sure thing. Neil walks away, with Greg following in her wake. Only Amaris remains. She approaches him slowly. Don't worry, Kevin. It's just a flick to the head. It won't hurt. Jay glares at the doll, but he simply grins, raising his thumb and middle finger. Oh, raising her thumb and middle finger. With a crisp sound, blood and brain matter explode against the wall, blooming into a grotesque flower. A glob of brain tissue flies far towards the earlier blast site. Finally, it lands onto a torn piece of pink lace. Bad ending 03. There are many possible directions this outcome could have taken, but I chose the most brutal and the most nauseating one to present. If, at that moment, she had not stopped you, and instead let you vent your rage, this is where it would lead. In this possible timeline, you achieve your revenge, but many problems cannot be solved with a single bullet. Before gaining the strength needed to oppose that pretentious man, throwing yourself onto the chopping block is simply unwise. Considering how astoundingly naive you are, you might just gladly accept the consequences if it meant fulfilling your wish. Unfortunately, she would never allow such an outcome. Besides, this doesn't solve anything fundamentally. Without proper guidance, the purer an ideal is, the more easily it gets twisted into something unspeakable. Such is the terrifying nature of ideals. They're a double-edged sword. To flip the board, you must first step off it. To fight a lion, you must first borrow the strength of a bear. Rawr. What the fuck? Alright. Maybe 8 bullets next time? Alright. So, I'm gonna say it ahead of time. Those are the 3 endings. The 3 bad endings. There's no more bad endings. But, we're not anywhere close to done with this. So, I am going to pause here, and we will complete the second half tomorrow. But I will say one thing in regards to that third ending. Because I think it might be confusing Oh wait, this is too fucking loud. Yeah, that's too loud. Screaming woman. Yeah, let's just calm the chill out, screaming woman. Yeah, the third ending might be confusing to a lot of people, especially if they skip Convolution Kernel. It's easy to explain, but it's hard to explain at the same time. To keep it short, the reason why that all happened is pretty much because learning was mentioned by Laplace. No, it was mentioned by Lunacia. But it was hinted at by Laplace by saying that Neil is actually like kind of fucking insane, because she was able to make Dr. Gray stronger with minimal effort. Which, by the way, that's also bullshit. I'm just going to say that out loud. I think that's complete and utter horseshit that she's able to do that. But she did, and that's what they're going with. So what would happen if Lunacia was not there to stop the commander? We had to realize what Lunacia actually did during that moment. So she didn't just stop the commander. She also told him that he needed to kill Neil, Cornelia Schaefer. And the commander said, no, I'm not killing her because she's a good person. And so what he did instead was send her, or basically give her a way out, basically. She had the Stasi help her out, particularly Jay. And then they escaped Frankfurt and they got into witness protection, yada yada yada. Girls from Line 2, we'll explain that much more in depth when we get to it. But since Cornelia is no longer there, the Earl never captures her. Or rather, the UNC never captures her. Because you have to remember, the commander basically had nothing to do with Cornelia jumping onto that thing, jumping onto a stage, and saying all that bullshit. Or, it's not actually bullshit. It's actually truth, but it's bullshit to UNC. Basically saying that, like, hey, they're making needles. Basically. And so the UNC would capture her, try to kill her, but then the Earl stops it. Why? Because William is dead. And Earl basically says, so, Cornelia Schaefer, do you like relics? And Neil's like, do I? I love relics! And then that's how this timeline happens. But yeah, Lunacia does hint, or rather she straight up says, that the strongest doll is Amaris after she gets buffed. And we get to see that on full display here, because Amaris just completely eclipses AK-15. In fact, she eclipses AK-15 even harder, way harder than Igla ever did. At least between Igla and AK-15, there's like some sort of like relativity between them. But Amaris just straight up beats the shit out of her. And that's only a year gap in that timeline. Which, by the way, is super stupid. I just want to say that up front. That's omega stupid, but At least it's consistent with what Cornelia has done in the past. So, giga funding of projects, yeah. But basically, that third timeline is basically just justifying what the nation said to Commander. More or less, that was it. And it's up to you if you want to believe it or not. Me personally, my favorite of the bad endings is the first one. The one where the Commander does one last ride, basically. Like a truly heroic ending. But it's an ending that no one wants, besides him. Yeah, 45 just kind of dies. Just straight up. Dark but still active? Yeah. Or actually, no. Because America's too fucked up. They might still be a thing, because we don't know what the fuck's going on with America. We never will either. So. Lady William is bullshit. She actually is bullshit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. The bad ending 3 just kind of feels like a justification to bad writing. At least it's really good. It's really entertaining. And I really like it. But it leaves like a massive power vacuum in terms of scientists. Like, all you really have to do is make Cornelia actually look at a relic, and then she can just basically demolish literally every other scientist in existence. I mean, true. The epilogue arc is basically trying to fix bad writing. I do agree with that. He's only using 1% of her power. Yeah. Can we bring this to Mars in our timeline? You probably don't want her. Unless she gets rizzed by the Commander. But that Amara seems like extremely faithful to Neil, probably because she might have lost her memory, or maybe she's got her personality got tuned. Who knows? Yeah, basically everything in America kind of stopped being a thing. The only real thing that you can factor into the United States is that they they kind of went pretty hard on the bio experiments. Like, a lot of what we see from Paradeus is because of the experiments done in America. Or the Americas. Because South America is also involved too, because they moved over to South America to have some peace and quiet. We get a good Grig. Would be nice. But her speed is probably unimpressive now. Especially now that that 3rd gen dolls are a thing and they're omega fast. That's correct, official Soul Army. That is absolutely correct. That said, strike research could not be completed in America. Well, it got stopped, I should say. It was good enough, and then A. William stole it. Doubt it was the William, but A. William did. But as someone who's already watched this entire, read this entire section, it's nice for me this again. It's been a blast. But we will take care of this tomorrow after I get off work. So same time. And I'm gonna go ahead and hop off, get some food. Actually, only reason why I stopped in here is because we got a lot left. And I believe I will need the 4 hours to finish up the rest. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. It will be the actual finale of Ghost Frontline. So you guys take care.